So transitioning to our trending topic today is actually social anxiety. So more, kind of diving into this world of anxiety. So would you mind just kind of like defining like what is social anxiety?
Yeah. So social anxiety, I think a lot of people have their own kind of different versions of social anxiety. But if we just look at the simplicity of it, social anxiety are people who get very overwhelmed easily in social settings.
Okay.
Right? Like that would be like the simplest way of explaining it. Think about anyone who, if it's too loud or they like to stay away from crowds, or they maybe just get really like panicky or stirred up, or just kind of even shut down, right? They might go internal and kind of shut down as like a protective, like, ooh, this is too much. I need to create some sort of space and I can't, right? Anyone who kind of like handles being in social settings that way probably suffers to some degree with social anxiety.
Okay. So is there anything else someone should be aware of? Like if someone's like thinking about themselves, like maybe they've thought about those couple of things you talked about, is there anything else someone needs to know, like to like define if they have social anxiety?
Yeah. If you start getting anxious before even getting into social settings, right? Yeah. So if you dread it, if it's something that maybe you limit, if you have to know about who's going to be there and what's the situation, and just kind of have a list of things that you need to know prior to engaging in that type of setting. If you are, if you experience panic at all at any point in time, or any overwhelming feelings and want to get away,
Okay.
I would say all of those are going to fall underneath social anxiety.
Okay. And then, so what treatment options are there for people with social anxiety? Is it just to what people can do? Like, cause I feel like being social, COVID has changed that, I think, in a lot of ways, but at the same time, we're kind of going back into being a lot more social. So what can someone do if they feel like they might have social anxiety?
Yeah. COVID is, I think, a big phenomenon as a social experiment kind of perspective of the effects of people and relationships and connecting, right? On one hand, we have people who are like so excited to get back into, relationships with each other and going back to normal, right? Like doing all the things we used to do. And then we have other people who are not excited, right? Maybe they have like their own anxiety still because of whatever. The first thing I would say is, one, you're not alone. I think there were people who, that is not true. Totally strike that. I know that there are people who have been suffering from social anxiety or anxiety or induced anxiety, right? Because of being in social settings or different types of social settings. And this all happened prior to COVID. So it's not just COVID. There's a number of reasons why people can feel anxious in social settings. The biggest thing is to talk about it.
Okay.
Talk about it. Share it with trusted people, share it with your friends, your family. Make it known your level of comfort and what's going on with you, because I think that sometimes can increase the anxiety if you feel pressured, if you feel an obligation, like you have to go for whatever reason. And if people don't understand why you're feeling the way that you are, then that's just going to add to the anxiety you're already experiencing, right? Yeah. And so share it with people, tell them what's going on with you. Reach out, right? We have counselors here at MCO. There are local counselors. Literally, there are apps. Like there's so many different ways of getting connected with counselors. reach out and have someone that you can talk through, to be someone supporting you along the way and helping you get tools and helping you learn new skills to help you cope, because it's not socially accepted for you to be a shut-in, right? Like, it's not socially accepted for you to be a recluse. Like, it's not viewed as something that our society is like, oh yeah, that's totally normal and that's okay. So because that's not something that in our society is viewed as okay, and we are social beings, it's also the way God created us. He created us to be in relationships with others. He created us as relational beings to be connected in that way, that you're going to be put in those situations just naturally. And so having someone to walk alongside you and help you figure out ways to be able to manage the anxiety, ways to be able to cope, tools, skills, all of just these resources to help you thrive instead of continuing to suffer. It's again, that kind of like, I'll just suffer through it, I'll push through. You don't have to. You do not have to. So talk to people about it, reach out and get professional support. And worst case scenario, last resort, reach out to your doctor and let them know that you're going to need medication. I say last resort because if you can manage it on your own and you can figure out how to cope with this without being reliant on something, that is going to get you so much further and get you so much farther. And I, from personal experience, working with clients who suffer from anxiety, most of them are on medication and they're still coming to see me.
Yeah.
And so there isn't a quick fix for this. There isn't just kind of like, just a magic pill that we can take that like lets everything go away and everything's going to be fine. So I really, really recommend reaching out, trying to get like that support established first before trying to do it on your own and make it something that happens really fast. And so that's what I would suggest for anyone who's suffering with social anxiety. There's so much support. There's so much support, and we are more than happy and willing and wanting to walk alongside you.